What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to be reacting to ridiculously awesome and also ridiculously stupid programming and hacking scenes in popular TV shows and movies. I've seen a lot of these, but I just love coming back to them just because some of them are so just ridiculously dumb and some of them are awesome. Spoiler alert, Mr. Robot, fantastic job at programming and hacking. Like, they do a better job at realism in their TV show than I do in my job. So we're going to be reacting to that stuff today. The first one we're going to be reacting to today is kind of a funny one. This is from the Limitless TV show, and this is not an old TV show. This is from 2015. So what you're about to see is just ridiculous, and it kind of makes me laugh a lot. So I hope it makes you laugh too. I'm going to play it once. Let me know if you catch it, and then we're going to play it again, and then I'll explain it.
Tactical just got back from searching Zhang's home.
Anything promising?
It's hard to say. All the documents we photographed are in Chinese.
We've got his hard drives, scans of everything in the safe. There was some.
Did you catch it? Okay, one more time.
Got back from searching Zhang's home.
Anything promising?
It's hard to say. All the documents we photographed are in Chinese.
We've got his hard drives, scans.
Hold on. Yeah, we got his hard drives right here. Everything's in Chinese. That was so dumb. If you guys didn't notice, they're pulling out a power supply from this bag, and he does it so confidently. He's like, "Whoop, we got their hard drives, sir." And it makes me laugh because, you know, like I said, this isn't an old show. Like, why couldn't they just go to Best Buy and get a couple hard drives for 50 bucks? Like, there's no reason that they should have had. Anyways, now we're gonna look at a really cool scene from one of my favorite shows, The Blacklist. And this is a show, if you guys don't know, about like FBI and criminals, and they have a guy on their team who does like all like the computer hacking like every other show. But I'm gonna play this for you and then we'll talk about it.
What?
What's wrong?
Everything. Everything's wrong. Sir, I did as you ordered and isolated all the malicious code or remnants of it buried deep in our operating system. Our firewall should have bounced it, but then I realized the only way we could have been breached was through social engineering, or physical access with a rubber ducky, a keystroke injection attack platform disguised as a thumb drive.
Yep, this is actually pretty real, the way that they described this and the way that they did this. So there's two parts to this. The first is the social engineering part. If y'all don't know, it's kind of agreed upon that the weakest part of a system, any system, is humans. So the human error is going to be the biggest part. If, let's say you have the strongest system in the world, everything is protected from every attack, and you have a password to get into it. If the person who knows the password is convinced that they need to give the password to somebody else, whether or not that person is malicious or not, your system's broken. It doesn't matter how much security you have. If someone is able to break in a legitimate way, it's over. And that's what social engineering is, convincing somebody that they need to give you access to something because they think you're someone else. The second part of this is the rubber ducky attack. It sounds ridiculous, but it's a real thing. So what happens here is you plug in a USB to any computer or anything. This is why you never plug in a USB you find on the ground, ever. Don't ever do it. So you plug a USB into your computer, and what happens next is basically it emulates a keyboard, except that a computer can type a lot faster than a person. So if you plug that USB in, within seconds, it could run a numerous amount of commands on your computer that you're unaware of. It can do things like grab all the cached passwords on your computer and upload them somewhere. It could install a keylogger on your computer, which basically means every keystroke you do is sent somewhere so somebody can review them, basically pick out your username and passwords from all the things you typed. It could install remote operating software. So basically whoever owns that USB can now log into your computer and use it remotely. There's just a lot of bad things that can happen from one of these attacks, and it's completely real. It's a real thing. You can literally go online and buy one or make one yourself for like $10. So just don't ever plug in a USB you find on the ground, please. So this next one is going to be from Mr. Robot, and Mr. Robot is fantastic. Everything they do is completely legit. Everything they talk about in the show is just on par with how it is in real life. So we're going to watch this and then talk about it. But again, this is from Mr. Robot.
Nothing.
You want to know what I'm thinking about? First time you came to me.
I didn't exactly come to Krista. I was forced here, but I do like her. Hacking her was simple. Her password, Dylan2791. Favorite artist in the year in which she was born backwards.
So if you look back in the console, I'll put it up on the screen right now. You can see that he's doing a few things here. The first is, for some reason, he's pinging an IP address. I don't know why. There's so much stuff in tech that I just don't know. So like there could be something here that I'm missing because there's just too much to know, honestly. There's a lot. If you look down, the biggest thing that we're looking at here is he has this command called elps crack or elps crack or something. So what we're looking at here is basically a password crack. And from what it looks like, I don't know, this program doesn't actually exist. It's not real. People have made imitations of it, but this exact one is not real, but it's based off other password cracks. What it looks like he's doing is adding things that are familiar to her. So we already know that Dylan is her favorite artist. She was born June 3rd, and it looks like he's adding Stonehenge, maybe her favorite place. So he adds a bunch of stuff into the list that might be related to her. From there, it's basically going to use that information to try to put together a password that might potentially work. And it looks like if you're looking at the line after that, he's putting in the IP address of the website that he wants to hack her at, putting in her username, and then as password, he's passing in the combinations of the password list from the program he just made. And what it's going to do is try all those different combinations of passwords to see if one of them matches and then spit out the correct password. The reason that this actually is pretty legit is, one, it only took 24 seconds. If this was a brute force attack, which basically means that you're trying every combination of every word ever in history, this would take literally like thousands of years. But what he's doing is using familiar terms to her to try to get a password out of that, because most of us use passwords related to things that we're familiar with. And that's why it only took 24 seconds. So this is good. This is legit. This is a pretty good representation of how somebody can hack your password and why you shouldn't use a password that's really related to anything to you, like your dog, your address, your year you were born. You should pick something random. So this next one we're going to look at here is from Silicon Valley. This is a scene where Richard is trying to hack into a network, but they need to get the key to log in.
Numbers, can you sing it again?
Sure, man. 8, 4, 6, capital G, 2, 9, lowercase j. Wait, do you want to maybe call Richard first and then I can sing it?
I love this show, man.
Yes, thank you.
Capital M, capital R. That's it?
Okay, so first of all, I love this show. This show is amazing. If you haven't seen this, even if you're not into tech, this is a hilarious show. Second, if you look, this is really accurate. For non-technical people, basically what they're doing is logging into another system, and what they're doing is they're using the key to log in. However, it's really accurate because they're doing chmod 600 on the key that they just got, which basically means that they're allowed read-write permissions with that key when they log in, so the user that they have now has those permissions. And if you look, I mean, they're doing SSH interactive, that's the -I, with the key, and they're logging in as root, so the master user on that IP address, so on that system. So this is like completely accurate and really, really cool. They're very accurate in the show, actually. And then as you can see, he even does ls, which basically is listing all the directories that is accessible from that path. So you can see literally like boot, dev, etc., home. So these are pretty standard paths. So this, I wonder if they set up like an actual like Python server to SSH into. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard, so it makes sense for the authenticity. So I could totally see them doing that. But that's pretty cool. That's very, very accurate and awesome. Next one we're gonna watch is from Swordfish, which actually with Hugh Jackman. This came out a long, long time ago. It's a fantastic movie if you haven't seen it. It's a little more programmy and a little cringy nowadays to watch, but still it's a fantastic movie. So we're just gonna jump in and watch this scene. Okay, so they do have a little bit of correctness here in the fact that we do have a lot of monitors. I have 2 here. The multiple monitor thing is pretty accurate. However, this is a really big stereotype in the programming world, and it's really funny. So right now he's looking at these 8 cubes, or 9 cubes, I guess, and they have like numbers in them, and then it's spinning around, and like all this stuff is happening. And it worm generator tool v1.2, like this is not real. This visual representation wouldn't tell you anything as a programmer. Like there's nothing you could get out of this that's going to be valuable to anything. These scenes are always really funny. I think this kind of originated in the Matrix when they had the numbers coming down the screen. I think that's a little different though, because they're like in the Matrix. So I think the idea is like they're supposed to be able to, I don't know too much about why that actually is, to be honest. But no real hacks are going to have this like complicated, cool interface thing. It's like super nerdy, boring numbers and commands and things like that. You're never really going to get an interface that looks like this because there's just nothing useful you could get out of it. So, to you, Mr. Hugh Jackman. That's going to be it for reacting to these TV shows and movies. If you guys enjoyed, let me know what other ones you'd like me to look at. It doesn't have to be specific to programming or hacking, just tech in general. There's also a scene from like Transformers where they're like listening to the hack or something. It's hilarious. I don't know. These things always get me. They're so funny. But yeah, like I said, if you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if I was wrong on anything, because I probably was. I'm not that smart, honestly. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace, guys.